Welcome to the Be Fearless podcast. Today, I have an amazing woman with us. She is an attorney of profession. She has been featured in multiple prime platforms, morning shows, magazines with an outreach of 100,000 people, including this lady is being in the New York Fashion Week. She has raised over $8,000 in charity. And she also is the recipient of the President's Volunteer Service Award and the Secretary of State's Award for Outstanding Volunteerism and abroad. And she has traveled over 19,000 miles. Like, oh my God, this is International Miss USA, Mikell Reed Carroll. Welcome.
Thank you, Dagmar. Thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here today and to speak with you about whatever you're interested in hearing about.
Well, basically, it's your story. It's your journey through your life, through success, and how you overcome all these challenges that life throws at us, like on a daily basis. But I can't wait to hear and your whole story, and have my audience hear your story. But first, we need to start by the basics. Where are you from, Mikell?
Born and raised in a small town in Maine, Bath, Maine. It's in the mid-coast area of Maine, about 45 minutes north of the largest city in Maine, Portland. So I'm a New Englander and Maine girl at heart, though currently I am in Virginia, where my husband is a Foreign Service officer for the U.S. government, the State Department. And we both work here at the U.S. Embassy in Belgrade.
That's amazing. And tell us, what was your biggest challenge as you grew up? Like, what made Mikell that was growing up the Mikell that is today?
Geez, I've had a lot of challenges. I was born legally blind in my left eye, and in addition, I'm the oldest of 5 children raised by a single mom. We grew up without very much money, so we were economically disadvantaged. And most people in my family did not have any sort of education. My mom dropped out of high school, unfortunately, as did many of her siblings. And then I was the first person in my family to go to college, basically at the behest of mom. My mom's been sort of behind everything. She struggled herself, and as a result, didn't want any of her kids to struggle. So she encouraged us all to pursue education, and was always encouraging of me, no matter what anyone said. I was teased a lot as well as a kid. I was skinny, I had a big gap in my teeth, I had glasses because of being legally blind, very thick glasses, big hair. So I was teased a lot, and no matter what, she was always there, telling me, Mikell, it doesn't matter what these people say about you. You need to know who you are as a person. And just work hard, dream big, and if you do, you can achieve whatever you want to in life. So, goals and challenges are some of the things that have made me who I am, and definitely the encouragement of my mother, and now the encouragement and support of my husband.
That's amazing. I love it. I love your story. If you didn't mention that you were born legally blind, I will never guess, because you look so beautiful. If you don't mention it, like I'll be like now I'm like more shocked, and I'm like more in love. Like, I love you so much more. But now you mentioned that you were instilled that that spirit of pursuing a career and like becoming a professional. What motivated you to follow a profession in law?
I think part of it was, of course, wanting to give back to others. And I always knew I wanted to do something where I was giving back to others. But on the other hand, having seen my mom and my family members struggle, I also knew that I wanted some sort of career where I was not only giving back to others, but where I could be financially stable and not have to worry about depending on anyone else for my financial stability. So I decided at a young age, I was about 10, and decided I wanted to be an attorney. And just pursued it from there. And from that point on, I worked as hard as I could to get good grades in school, I graduated high school with honors, then went on to graduate from college with honors, and then went on to the University of Maine School of Law. I did not graduate with honors from the University of Maine School of Law. Law school is a lot harder than college. However, I just worked hard in bringing that dream. I graduated from law school about, almost 20 years ago now. And yeah, it's just been amazing ever since. And I concentrated most of my legal career in profit law.
Wow, that's amazing. Funny fact, at some point, I wanted to pursue a career in law. And I think that what held me back, it was when I got into my job, and then I get to like see the whole ordeal of this. I was like, you know what, I think that I'm just going to go through another route. So I went to pursue a PhD in public service. So, but I admire you. I mean, I admire my father was an attorney, also as by profession. So I mean, it's a hard and very time-consuming and profession, and it takes a lot of you, because sometimes you want to like to help people, and then you go out of your way in the well, how can I say this? I'm sorry, I'm having a Spanish moment.
Happens to me all the time.
My brain it's so funny because my brain just like switch the language while I'm speaking English. It's like, come on, just stop hijacking my brain. How can I say? It's like being an attorney it's not easy, because I see it like every day. Like the dedication that you have to have for your clients, no matter what the situation. Just to give them the best service, and try to achieve the best outcome for them is not an easy task to do. So I do admire you for that. Now, I mean, how? Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say you're totally right. It's very difficult, and thank you for saying. And I know too that it's not easy. You said you wanted to pursue law. It's not easy. Pretty, and sometimes you see the worst in people, so it can be very draining as well. And having worked previously in nonprofit law, I worked mainly with victims of crime, and that was very draining, because you're seeing everyone who's going through horrible situations and hearing about all of the awful situations day in and day out, frankly, can be a little depressing. So it's not an easy career, and I can see why maybe you decided at some point to steer away from it. It's definitely, sometimes you think, why did I do this again?
It could be fun too. Yeah.
It can be fun too. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so now tell us, how do you got into the pageant world? Like, I'm so curious. I want to hear that story. Like, I can't wait.
Sure. Well, and that has to do with actually me being
I'm sorry.
College. Oh, there you went out. While in college, I really needed scholarship money, and I paid college myself. So I earned scholarships, grants, took out student loans, work jobs, and I heard about the Miss America Scholarship Program. And I had heard that several friends of mine had competed, won thousands of dollars in scholarships. Some people even paid for their entire college career. So I thought, I'll try this, why not? I was also very shy at the time, so to me, that was a motivating factor. I thought, well, maybe this will be a good way to get me to come out of my shell. Believe it or not, I was shy. I didn't talk like this all the time way back when. And so I tried my first Miss America local. I was in Portland, Maine, and competed for Miss Portland. It was a very small pageant, only about 5 women. I did not place because, frankly, I knew what I was doing. I was terrified to be on stage. I nearly ran off during the competition because I realized everyone's looking at me. And I don't think I looked at the entire competition. I just did, I didn't realize that was expected. And I was afraid to look at them. So needless to say, I didn't do very well in the past. I sort of enjoyed it because I liked the glamour aspect of it. But then I didn't compete for another year. I decided to wait because I just thought, pageants aren't really for me. It's, I'm too shy. But a year later, I was still broke, still needed money for scholarships. So I then the performance aspect of America, because they have a talent competition, this America program, was something I enjoyed as well. I was a singer, not professionally. I never had any professional training, but enjoyed singing. The more I competed, the more I really started to enjoy being on stage and singing for people. And I sort of got hooked from there, and then took some time off, in my late 20s, because I thought I'd aged out, and then started competing again after I was married around the age of 35. And it's hard to drag me off the stage now.
I love it. I love how you kind of use the repetition of going pageant after pageant just to overcome your fear of public speaking, which I relate to that, because for me, doing this right now, like being online and doing these interviews, is for me a challenge, especially for, I'm bilingual, and like I get my moments where my languages cross, and that also also have a heavy accent. So I can relate with you in a way that, that public speaking fear of, just being out there and not doing well on stage. Like I totally like relate to that. And I love the fact that you still continue to practice your pageants and like go forward and, just participate and compete on every pageant. How many pageants you have done?
Oh gosh, over 20 at this point. I've been competing since I'm 20 years old, and I'm now 43, and I think I've done about 20 pageants total. I've competed in the Miss America program at the state level, the Miss USA program at the state level, Miss US of America, Mrs. International, most recently International Ms., which is the title that I hold. And previously in 2018, I was World's Mrs. Tourism. So I've done a number of different systems. Though my current system, International Ms., is the one most, and was my first national title as International Ms. USA. And I was shocked when I won. I had worked very, very hard, and just after over 20 years of pageantry, I had finally achieved my dream of winning a national title.
I admire you, because you are the only one to be selected to win this title at the age of 40?
Yes. So in 2019, which is when I up to women 40 plus. Before that, it was only women up till 39. So I decided, okay, I am 41. I'm going to compete. I decided to compete and was crowned the first woman ever over the age of 40. Now there's no age limit on our pageant. So as long as you're at least 26, you can compete for the title of International Ms. And it doesn't matter if you're 50, 60, 70. If you want to compete to be International Ms. or International Ms. USA, you can get that, because frankly, I feel like at any age, you should never let your age define you or limit you. And at that time for me, it was also pivotal because I'd just given birth to my daughter 8 months before I signed up for the pageant. So it was really challenge myself to get back into shape, to motivate me, and to feel like, okay, I'm a wife and a mom of two, but I can still be beautiful and glamorous and have that side as well. And I think that's important for women to have.
Yeah, definitely. So important, so inspiring. Like I just want to go out running right now after hearing you. I'm like, what am I making excuses for?
I had to do a lot of that.
After giving birth, come on. Oh my. Okay, so in all this experience that you have accumulated through the pageants, have earned you a mention of Confessions? That's a book by Adrienne Kwan. It just released recently. And you mentioned
Yes.
that. Tell us a little about that experience.
Adrienne Kwan is the founder of the Pageant Project, and he does a podcast similar to this, though he's just speaking with mainly pageant women. And Confessions was something he came up, I think it was in early December, and was published by the end of December. It contains hundreds of interviews from beauty queens from around volumes, Confessions, I think volume A through K, and I'm in the second volume, L through Z. And you can both volumes on Amazon, internationally, both Amazon US, UK, Australia, which is where Adrian is based out of. Mm-hmm. And it's just beauty queens from all over the world being interviewed, talking about, most embarrassing moments, how they get involved in pageantry, inspirations, all those types of things. And I feel so grateful to have been included in that. And my sister queen, Dr. Corinne Devon, the current international Ms., is also featured, as well as my director, Laura Clark, who I believe you know. She's the director and of International Ms. and also the director of the National Miss Earth USA pageant, which they just held this past weekend. And I believe they just crowned a new Miss Earth USA, who also happens to be in Mercy. I'm going to give a shout out to her because she's also from Maine and a former Miss America system.
That's amazing. So, I mean, what else? What was the other thing? So you just so you mentioned that these confessions is hold into different volumes. Did I hear that right? So the book is divided.
Yes, 2 volumes. There were so many women that he interviewed for the Confessions book that it comprises of 2 volumes.
Okay. Wow.
I am on page 6 to 303.
And
volume 2, and then it's done alphabetically.
And between us, I mean, what was your confession? What happened? Can you share with us?
Let me see. Well, I'd say probably the funniest in there that was the most like a confession was talking about my most embarrassing moment in a pageant, which in a Miss Maine America pageant where, okay, so the name of the song that they walk out to for swimwear was Who Let the Dogs Out. As you can imagine, you probably don't want to be walking to swimsuit if Who Let the Dogs Out. However, they had a large prop on stage that was a giant wood doghouse. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm legally blind. And because of that, I have severe astigmatism. I can't wear contacts, and I tend to not wear my glasses in pageants for, just a little bit cuter. And anyway, so I walked up onto stage while there was someone circling around in front of me doing their walk, and I ran straight into this giant doghouse. I mean, literally smack in my face. I think the judges were paying attention to the contestant, show up her swimsuit. So I tried to get myself and not cry as I knocked my head into this giant prop and just kept a smile on myself the whole time, on my face. And so that's one of my confessions. People can read the rest in the book.
But that's so fun. Oh my God, so funny at the same time, so inspiring, because you have to be quick to kind of recover from that situation, especially during a live pageant. You're getting into stage and exactly. A lot of people is watching. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Thank you for sharing that experience with us. Now, you also, like I mentioned before at the beginning, the interview, you are the recipient of the President's Volunteer Service Award, and you also are the recipient of the Secretary of State's Award for Outstanding Volunteerism Abroad. So tell us, what got you those awards? What do you do as a volunteer?
Sure. The President's Volunteer Service Award, I received both 2016 and 2000. I received a bronze medal in 2016 for 100+ hour volunteer work. And the President's Volunteer Service Medal, the gold medal, is for 500+ hours of volunteer work. And most of those were dedicated to my work with the American Heart Association, as well as a number of other charities as well. Let's see, Make-A-Wish is one of them, a number of other organizations that I worked with, the Tiger Lily Foundation, all sorts of places that I volunteered with. And received that award, as well as helping organizations to raise money, things like that, doing donation drives. Those are some of the main things that I've done to volunteer. And I got out of my volunteer hours when I was in DC. And the most recent award that I received, the Secretary of Volunteerism Abroad, is for that I've done here in Europe. In assisting an organization called Refugee Aid Serbia. They are an organization that assists refugees who are here in the Balkans. We have nearly 4,000 refugees here in Serbia. And of course, as most people know, refugees are, something it's a worldwide problem. Has them. There are currently about 65 million people, I believe, placed. And the organization here, Aid Serbia, they run this great place called The Workshop. And in The Workshop, which is located here in Belgrade, they assist people anywhere from small children to adults who basically are trying to better their lives. They provide them hope they run classes with volunteers teaching German, French, English, Serbian. They have math classes, do all sorts of other classes to do whatever their volunteers can teach, whether art, guitar. They raise on recreational trips, like out to soccer matches, different things like that, museums, things basically to try to, give them some hope in what may be an otherwise difficult life, living outside of Belgrade and some of the refugee camps here. So I did a number of donation drives for items for refugee camps, as well as collecting money both through myself. I donated my $1,000 prize that I won as National Miss USA to the Refugee Aid Serbia organization. And I've also been collecting other donations like wooden coats, things like that. And that's how I received the Secretary of State Award for Outstanding Volunteerism. It was a huge honor. Unfortunately, of course, this year due to COVID, we normally a wonderful ceremony. We did a virtual ceremony this year, but actually next year they'll be flying the other winners from this year to DC to meet the Secretary of State and to be honored along the 2021 recipients of this award. They usually give out about six awards to each region world. And it's a huge honor. And the Secretary of State Award for Volunteerism Abroad has been given out now for about 30 years. And this year was its 30-year anniversary.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Thank you so much for doing all that you do. It's really inspiring. We definitely have to give more, and we definitely get change when we give more. So by volunteering and helping all these people, what do you think is the thing that have changed within you just by giving to others?
I think by giving to others, you learn a lot about yourself, but you also, I think, learn about humanity in general, that more often than not, we're more similar than we are different. I've lived around the world. I've worked with people from all over the world, and there are so many more commonalities between us, I think, than we believe, regardless of what our religion, politics, or anything like that are. We're all human beings, and most human beings just sort of want basic things like respect and dignity. And by volunteering, I think I try to help give people that. And for me, I just like to put a smile on people's face. So that's usually one of my motivations. I just love to put a smile on people's faces and help make people happy.
Thank you so much. And you definitely put a smile on my face too. I mean,
Thanks.
I do admire you more as we speak. So you already mentioned your charities and your volunteering. I got here that you also are a traveler.
I am.
Travel. How many miles?
This year, past year, as USA, despite the pandemic, I traveled over 19,000 miles. I did a lot of pre-pandemic traveling. I mean, right from January, starting in January, my sister Queen Corinne and I had this amazing trip trip. We went to the UK to get our official international Ms. photo shoot done, and we visited England and Wales while we were there. Then on my way back home to Croatia, time I was living in Croatia, I flew through Paris and got to spend a couple of days in Paris, modeling and having a photo shoot. That was wonderful. Then I traveled to New York for New York Fashion Week, Maine, where I made some appearances raising money for the Heart Association and visiting my family. And also later, right before everything shut down, again, Switzerland, France, and Italy. I was in Italy to model for Milan Fashion Week. So I've been so lucky to get in a lot of travel this year, despite everything that's gone on, and to be able to stay safe. Most of the international travel, like I said, was pre-lockdown, and I actually happened to be in Milan when the coronavirus. So we actually had to Milan as the coronavirus was breaking out, and we were learning how horrible some of the first people in Croatia have to quarantine.
Oh wow! I mean, yeah, but just to travel over 19,000 miles within like a span of like 2 months and a half, that's pretty impressive. And I guess that's so rewarding. I'm a traveler myself. I love to travel. So, I mean, I wish right now I could do just a tiny fraction of what you have done.
I'm missing it too. I'm missing it. I think you gain so much through travel. Just meeting new people, hearing new languages, learning different cultures, seeing beautiful places, learning about history of those areas. It's just been, it's been a privilege, and being in Ms. USA has helped me my travels as well. So that's been really one of the perks.
Hello.
Hi, I'm here. Sorry, I think
yeah, for 1 second you froze.
Out for a minute.
I was like, no, don't go. All right. But I mean, thank you so much. I love it. I love your story. I think that what's the main thing that I have got from your story and your journey through life is that we definitely can achieve whatever we set in our minds, and when we give back to others, our life definitely gets better, and we turn into better people as well. I love what you have done through your whole life. I love your achievements. I have to say that I do admire you, but also I want to thank you for being International Miss USA, because you not only representing USA, every woman in the USA, you're representing every background of every woman in the United States, and you are doing an amazing job at it. So thank you so much for being with us today. Is there any any other social media than Facebook that we can reach out to you?
Sure, absolutely. I have an Instagram. My personal Instagram is Mikell Reed Carroll. That's MIKELLREDCARROLL. My International Ms. USA tag on Instagram. And people can also visit, if they're interested in the International Ms. pageant, International Ms. pageant.com for more information on how they can compete. Ideally, we're going to be having our pageant this June in Vegas. We'll see what happens with the pandemic. It's possible maybe push back a little bit because we do have contestants flying in from all over the world. But people right now can still sign up and contact our pageant and the director, Laura Clark, if they're interested in competing. If they want to be Ms. USA or International Ms. Both of those titles will be able. And it's been really an exciting, I guess now a year and a half I've been serving since my sister quit an extended due to the pandemic, which the pandemic's terrible, but I can't say that it's, been bad to be Ms. USA a little bit longer. So I'm grateful for that part of it. But thank you so much for having me on today, Dagmar. I admire you as well and everything that you're doing to try to really help inspire other women, and also give women like me a platform upon which, to speak things that we're interested in, our accomplishments, and showcasing us. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here. Well, until next week, don't forget to follow us on YouTube and Instagram and all other social media. This podcast has also gone to the audio format. So if you want to hear the audio format of all of our episodes, you can find them on anchor.com or Spotify. And until then, have an amazing day. Don't forget to be fearless and unlock your potential.